Welcome back to the John Mendola Show here on WILK. Driven by McCarthy Tire Service locations in Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, Kingston, and Hazleton. We'll get you some more locations. You can pick up a copy of our baseball and softball magazine. But we're going to first talk a little Dunmore football. And Jack Henzes has called it quits. He's retiring. What an incredible career and a fabulous man. We're going to talk with Greg Dolhon, who knows the guy pretty darn well. Greg, welcome into the show today.
How are you, John? Thanks for having me, bud.
Yeah, I'm doing well. Obviously, our thoughts and prayers with Coach Henzes, and I hope he's feeling a little bit better. But it's an end of an incredible storied career in the state of Pennsylvania and what he's meant to the Dunmore community.
Yeah, obviously, being there for so many years and just ingrained his mentality into the football program. But most importantly, became a great part of the community. Coach is so much more about high school football wins. And I think that's the big thing about Jack Henzes. I think some coaches relegate themselves to they're just about wins, and wins is what define them. And I don't think wins define Jack Henzes. Obviously, the wins are there, right? I mean, state championship, the games he's won in the storied career. But I think if you ask a lot of people about him, I think he's a lot more than about wins and losses. And I think he's about setting a great example, being a great person, and helping high school kids along the way.
That coaching tree not only goes down to high school or college coaches or biddy coaches, but guys in the NFL.
Yeah, right. With Victor Fangio becoming a NFL head coach and the Marciano brothers, coaches had a great impact. And I think the part of that is something that I have mentioned to people this week is his love of the game. I think he's passed on his love of the game to other people, and I think I'm one of them. You could feel how much he loves the game and loves the sport, and I think that is something that when you're playing for him or coaching for him or around him, that you could feel. And I think he's passed it on. And you have three former players, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's the three that are coached in the NFL. That's incredible.
Yeah, and how about the impact on the whole community as far as what he did up until the last day he coached, just trying to get kids out into the community. I mean, that message that went around for 5 decades.
Yeah, John. Again, and he just keep on coming back. He's a lot more than about football. Work ethic and helping the community, and setting the right example, and just how to be a good human being. When I first started coaching with Coach Henzes, the things that you saw, he taught kids each and every day. But I think, in life, it's more what you do. It's not what you say. And I think it's the example that he set. You can talk a good game all you want, and you can tell kids what you do, but I think you have to live it. And Jack Henzes lived it. He was a great role model and told them what a wonderful family that I'm so honored to be a part of. And then everything that he did with his life and how he helped people, and kids see that. And I think that that's just a great impression. I think it's your actions, and nobody had greater actions over, 50 years in high school sports than Jack Henzes.
Yeah, great career. Greg, we appreciate you taking some time out and talking with us this morning and reflecting a little bit on Coach Henzes and, of course, doing a great job there at North Pocono. Wish you and your family the very best, okay?
You too, John. Thanks for having me, buddy.
You got it. Greg Dolhon here on the John Mendola Show, talking about Jack Henzes. Knows him pretty darn well. With the family connection there. Let's bring in Kevin McHale. Kevin, a part of this Dunmore program as a player, as a coach. And Kevin, for you, moving experience this week in hearing about Coach Henzes saying that he's coached his final game.
Yeah, as Greg alluded to, a lot of similar things there. Coach decided to retire, and the example that he has set over the course of many years at Dunmore, Wyoming area, and at Blakely, the example that he set is really nothing short of amazing. Doing little things the right way, making sure things are done the right way. Always an emphasis on academics, always an emphasis on your family, and the way that you represent your community and your school. Those are at the forefront of his philosophy, and that's what makes Coach such a special guy.
For you, talk about your first meeting with Coach Henzes. How old were you, and then looking up to him, and then all these years that you've had to work with him as a coach, I'm sure has been pretty darn special.
Yeah, it's really special. Growing up in the community, I remember as a kid going to the games, and he was at that time he was a legend in the Dunmore community. Seeing the '85 Eastern Conference team and the the '89 state championship team are obviously highlights. And then obviously playing for Coach in the early to mid '90s, and then having the opportunity to be a part of his staff since the 2002 season. Just the lessons that I've learned in all those roles as a water boy, as a player, and now as a coach. The lessons that I've learned about life and academics and helping younger children and students, the lessons that I've learned have been, truly beneficial in my career.
Kevin, let's talk about you and Coach Mills, guys like that have been around. And obviously, Coach Dolhon, other coaches. There's been so many coaches that have gone through Dunmore, but there's a lot of loyalty to Coach Henzes, that's for sure.
Well, I think that's because Coach is very loyal to the people that are on his staff. He's very loyal to the people that he works with, whether it's the administration at Dunmore, superintendents, principals. He's a company guy who is extremely loyal, and in return, he has plenty of assistance throughout the years. I was visiting with Coach on Thursday, and Vic Fangio called. Probably one of the busiest days of the year for Coach Fangio. But he was, it wasn't a 2-minute conversation. He was talking to Coach for probably 10, 12 minutes. Coach was trying to see who the Broncos were going to pick at number 10, but he wouldn't give that information up. But there's a guy who was at the top of his industry, and he made sure he had time to call Coach back. So
yeah, awesome to hear.
Very impressive.
We are going to miss Coach Henzes. We hope he's well in his retirement. And Kevin, we appreciate your time today as well, and I hope you and your family have a great weekend. All right.
Okay, John. You too. Thanks for having me.
Okay, Kevin McHale, one of the coaches there at Dunmore on the staff. And again, Coach Henzes, what an incredible job he has done. Well, we are going to get to the Riverside baseball team. Connor McGovern still working on that and trying to get him here on the show. So we'll get to that coming up here on the John Mendola Show. You can join us every single day online, thejohnmendolashow.com. We give you daily interviews. So today there'll be an interview up. And how about Rocky Bonomo and the Rock Solid Wrestling Group and Wyoming Valley West? They're welcoming in Jason Nolf. I think it's May 19th. He's coming into town. So we got to see Rocky Bonomo and Ryan Vasello this past week, and all the wrestlers in that wrestling room, and another Penn State connection with Jason Nolf last year. Coach Sanderson came in, so not too shabby, huh? A 3-time national champ coming in and getting that done. You can pick up a copy of our baseball, softball magazine at the Carbondale YMCA. I want to thank our friends at Beston's Auto Body, AJ's Bar, located right there in Carbondale. Melissa Walter, State Farm in Clark Summit. Our Carol and Janelle in Old Forge. Ravello's Pizza right across the street in Old Forge. I want to thank our friends at Saporito, Falcone, and Watt Law, located in Pittston. Danko's All-American Fitness. And you can also pick up a copy of Ellie's Pizza there in Wilkes-Barre. Let's head out now to our local State Farm insurance agent, Frank Sorokatch. Break. Like your good neighbor, Frank Sorokatch in Tunkhannock is there. We'll be back on WILK.